30 milkshakes and also some chicken. And we're going to take care of the customers. This business good. Making a lot of money. Everyone getting rich, right?
Like that.
Well, we took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay.
So Donald Trump went to Chick-Fil-A and Fox News and the right-wing media are loving it. Even Jesse Waters, a guy who has been very clear on the record of opposing men drinking milkshakes, he was a fan. Watch this.
Hugs, selfies, and the Lord's chicken. Today, Donald Trump showed what love is, hitting up a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta. People like Trump because Trump likes people. It's that simple. Being around Trump's fun. And Johnny was right. The love is real. I think these are one of the moments, the Chick-fil-A Trump moment, that you're just going to remember years later and say, oh yeah, 2024 campaign, the Chick-fil-A moment.
Well, it's just emblematic of how good Trump is in these unscripted moments, Jesse.
If you had handed that script to a couple of news broadcasters on North Korean state media, they would have been like, are you kidding me? That was amazing. We'll be remembering this 4 years. That time that Donald Trump went to Chick-fil-A for a photo op and then taunted all the workers by saying you're getting rich when he would oppose any increase to their wages. You remember that time? It was amazing. But it wasn't just amazing, it was a demonstration of why you should not fear Donald Trump becoming a dictator. Take a look at this.
Democrats and the mainstream media just can't stop calling former President Trump a threat to democracy. Time and time again, we've heard them repeat the same phrase ad nauseum. Take a listen for yourself.
What, in your view, constitutes the primary threat to freedom and democracy at home?
Donald Trump. Seriously.
Objectively speaking, factually speaking, without any bias or skew whatsoever, makes him a greater threat to American democracy than Joe Biden.
He undermines and unravels the rule of law. And the other is that he weakens and unravels core democratic institutions.
Is he really? The former president has been busy on the campaign trail, and yesterday's visit to an Atlanta Chick-fil-A is now going viral online. Trump treated customers to chicken and milkshakes, appealing to voters with a campaign strategy and some argue just a personality trait of meeting people, of meeting voters where they are.
That is amazing. Again, North Korean state media. They say he'll be a dictator, but will he? He gave people a sandwich. I leave it up to you, America, to decide.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
That's insane. Obviously, they love that appearance. They love that appearance so much that they talked about his stupid photo up at Chick-fil-A for 2 minutes longer than they talked about the, for them, disastrous Supreme Court decision in Arizona. They talked about the Chick-fil-A for 26 minutes and Arizona for 24. And much of their coverage of Arizona was Sean Hannity asserting that this was something the Democrats wanted. He went on an extended rant right before the Republicans killed an effort to overturn that disastrous law. This is amazing. Like, I'm sure there were people there, as we will discuss, that liked that Donald Trump was doing this photo op, but that's all it was. And I remember them singing a slightly different tune when Joe Biden went out for ice cream with Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's just, a man of the people now because he went for chicken and milkshakes.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that as well, John. So we're gonna get to the most fraudulent part of this entire operation at Chick-fil-A in a second. Because man, this trick they did with that one African-American woman you saw is a hell of a political trick. But before we even get there, look, first of all, if you say, hey, should Trump go and do these kind of events? Is it a good idea politically? The answer is yes, it is. So he did something like this at a McDonald's a little while back, and I gave him credit for it, and I said, hey, that's well played, that's retail politics, and he actually does like McDonald's. And I said, it reminds me of the time Bill Clinton used to do that. And so if you're principled, you have to stay principled, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, right? So I thought Bill Clinton did a good job of hamming it up, if you will, at a McDonald's, and so did Donald Trump, and the Democrats could learn a learn a thing or two from that. And so he's just, now that he saw that that worked, he's going back to that same well. He's going to Chipotle soon, you'll see him at a Burger King near you, right? But no problem, it's good politics and I don't mind it at all, it's a good photo op, okay? But when you say, can you believe Joe Biden talked about serious policy while eating an ice cream cone? That is so disrespectful. And I can't, oh, look at Trump with the Chick-Fil-A and he's stuffing it into his mouth. He's awesome. What? Wait, both of those things can't be true. And you just heard me be principled. Good luck trying to find that on Fox News or anywhere in right-wing media. But it gets worse than that. So when she says, well, since he enjoys chicken sandwiches, obviously he can't be a dictator. Wait, now you're conflating two completely different issues. It's one thing to say, hey, that's politics well played, and another thing to say, that's why he didn't use fake electors to try to do a coup against America. No, but he did do that. I got news for you, some dictators like chicken sandwiches. Those two issues are not related. And wait till you hear the worst part of this trick, which we'll get to in a second, but Nina.
Woo, Gene, yeah, I'm with you. He's a good retail politician. He's a faux populist, so he's very convincing. Like most snake oil salesmen, he gets the job done. But I think the point about, I mean, he was in the ATL, he was in Atlanta, Georgia, so you see the African American community really represented there. The thing that stuck out for me was the young African American woman who said, you got our vote. We're not gonna believe what the media has to say. That is going to be one of the biggest concerns that the Democratic Party should have even before Trump stepped foot in a Chick-fil-A. The polling is showing it. We know how people are feeling. African American community is feeling, not really feeling President Biden as they did in 2020. I believe that he just has to peel off a few. He's never gonna get the majority, but all he has to do is peel off a few. That was quite telling of what that young woman had to say. And she's not the only one saying it. I've heard it myself, even when I was in Chicago just about a month ago. So people are saying it all over the country.
So that is true and it's backed up by the polling, but man, they supercharged it with the trick that they did.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that. I just want to briefly say, again, retail politics, all that stuff, but if Fox is a real news, obviously they're never gonna criticize him. They're, again, North Korean state media. He doesn't want their wages to go up. That's in Atlanta. He tried to overturn the results of the election in Georgia, specifically in Georgia. He didn't want anyone in Atlanta's vote to count if they voted against him. Again, so the idea that, well, obviously he can't be an authoritarian. He threw a milkshake at someone. Yeah, but he wants them to stay in a state of economic degradation and he doesn't want them to have any political voice. It's just amazing to me that Fox is so in the bag for Trump once again when they briefly looked like they might be willing to criticize him. But in any event, let's turn to what we've been previewing. The thing that the right-wing media seems to love most about Donald Trump's trip to Chick-fil-A is that it's genuine, that it's authentic, it's real. Nothing suspicious or questionable going on, but is there? Take a look at this.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
do. The dictator on day one hoax and the fine people hoaxes just got cooked like a sack of waffle fries. These are genuine interactions that you cannot fake. You'll never see videos like this on the news. It's too real.
Well, we're showing it, we're the news. Also, can you fake them? We're gonna look into that. Again, if Mussolini had hugged someone, still a bad guy. Hitler wasn't one panini handed out to a voter away from being a Democrat. That's not how any of this works, Jesse Waters. But he talked about that woman, that genuine, authentic interaction. And yes, that video was real, it was not a deep fake. That woman was real, she was actually there. And he did actually hug her. It's there on video. We don't have any video of anything like that happening with Don Jr. or Eric. So this does seem real, it's verified. But so is her actual identity, because that is apparently Michaela Montgomery. So she's in that clip. And she eventually went directly on to Fox News. They're not just commenting on her, but she went to Fox and here's what she said.
Of course, in the excitement of everything, I wasn't able to really relay my message, but the general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU campuses or walk around the AUC community, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcomed. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite.
And look, I agree with the point she made. I don't think that him simply going to an HBCU would cause a riot to form. Generally, riots only form when he goes to DC in anticipation of inauguration. But anyway, she is not simply a random concerned citizen. She's actually kind of got a stake in this thing. So she apparently is a Republican Party intern, a former Blexit city director. That's the organization founded by Candace Owens. And so it is possible that she just happened to be at Chick-fil-A when he randomly went there. Or it could be that this thing is not as genuine and random. It wasn't like he gave a speech or a fundraiser. I think he was there for a court appearance actually. And then he wanted a chicken sandwich and he talked to the people he saw there. They filled the restaurant with supporters of his. And not even just random supporters drawn from Atlanta, of which there are many, I'm sure, but literally people who have worked for the Republican Party that are activists for conservative causes. And so to simply act like that's an organic interaction seems a little bit disingenuous. What do you think?
Well, it's not a matter of opinion, it's a fact. They definitely rigged it. There's no question about it. So look, both things are true. Now, in a positive way for Donald Trump, I actually think that he was pretty good on HBCUs, and he doesn't get enough credit for that. So look at us being honest and fair and objective, right? And he passed a law that got them more money, and so they appreciate him on those campuses. I get it, right? And on the polling, he is doing better with younger black voters. But every part of this Chick-fil-A thing was staged. She works now for Charlie Kirk's organization, and then there's people online talking about like, oh, they did that photo op in a brilliant way. That was orchestrated. Of course it was orchestrated. A woman who was working for Candace Owens' organization, now works for Charlie Kirk, happened to show up at the same exact Chick-fil-A that Donald Trump was at. And did you notice what she said in the interview there with Fox News? She says, oh, in all that excitement, I wasn't able to relay my exact message. Why? You were a random person that came to a Chick-fil-A with a prepackaged message you had to relay, and you weren't able to relay it? Is she just saying that to her employers? Like, I know that as I was hugging him, I was supposed to do this talking point and that talking point, and I only got 2/3 of my talking points in, but do I still get paid? That was not authentic. And what's awesome about it was the Jesse Waters intro. Yeah, I can't fake something like this. As he's faking the story. That's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, look, it's useless to ask Jesse Waters or Fox News any questions, they'll just lie. But I would, if he was a real journalist, it would be great to ask him. So did you know the whole thing was fake when you were saying it couldn't be fake and you were part of being fake? Or did they also fake you out? And so that part I don't know, to be fair. Nina.
Even if she as the individual was not being genuine, there is a genuine sentiment out there though that the Democratic Party should be made aware of. And John, your point about Trump is the antithesis of all the things that most of those workers at Chick-fil-A need. Most voters will not know that. Because he is so good on the stump. And the Democratic Party has to do a better job of getting out there among the people and helping them to understand and not just understand, but tell them what they're materially going to do for them. It's one thing to say that Donald J. Trump, and this is true, is against the things that will materially change the lives of most working class people in this country. It's another thing to also say that in the first 2 years of the Biden administration, they really did nothing beyond what happened during COVID, which was, forced. They did that very well, but they did not extend those programs. They didn't increase the minimum wage. The PRO Act did not pass. They did not protect the rail workers at first, and et cetera, et cetera. So all of these things are vitally important. When it comes to the corporatist wings of both parties, it is getting harder and harder to tell the difference. And that is the major point for me in all of this.
Yeah, last thing I'll say on it is, Nina's said it earlier in the show, Donald Trump's a great fake populist, right? And this is classic fake populism. But the Democrats give that breathing room to grow because they don't deliver in exactly the ways that Nina mentioned. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges.
You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.